When a marriage faces a crisis, one of three things can happen. The couple could survive the crisis, and that's always a good thing. The couple could die in the crisis, that is to say, their marriage falls apart, and they either divorce or they live together, but never with the same kind of closeness and intimacy that they once had. And the third possibility is that the couple could actually thrive as a result of the crisis. Now, what is it that makes the difference between dying, surviving, and thriving? Well, today in 4 Minutes to a Better Marriage, I'm going to show you 6 qualities that we can incorporate into our marriages that will assure us that we will not only survive a crisis, but we will even thrive through the crisis. So here they are. The first is praying. When we as a couple understand that we need the help of God all the time, individually and together, that will cause us to want to pray. That is to say, ask God to be a vital and ongoing part of our relationship to each other. So praying is key to the idea of thriving when we've gone through a crisis. Second is to be responsive. Now, responsive people are different from reactive people. Reactive people will either ignore a request or a need, or they will attack, blame the other person for having the problem, or they will delay. They will do one of those three things. But responsive people don't ignore, they try to engage. They don't attack, they try to find a way to help. And they don't delay, they look for the appropriate action to take at that time. In other words, they're responsive, and they've built up this habit in their marriage relationship of being responsive to their husband or wife. The third is appreciating. And this is so valuable because it shows us and shows our partner that they mean something to us and meet a need in our lives that nobody else can meet. And the more you appreciate someone, the more valuable they become to you. Over the years, you realize that this person is so valuable to you that you don't want to lose them and you don't want to lose your marriage relationship. The fourth is to be involved. And that's real simple. It simply means, what can I do to help at this time in this situation? We don't let people that we're married to handle things on their own without us being there. We don't isolate ourselves. We involve ourselves. That is one of the key characteristics of a couple who are going to survive and ultimately thrive through a crisis. And then they are submitted to each other. That means in this context that they are aware of the wisdom that God has given to their husband or wife, and they're willing to listen to and evaluate that wisdom and act on it in the best possible way. And of course, that shows your husband or wife that they actually have been able to influence you, that you as a person are open to influence. And the last is to be encouraging. I encourage you to find as many opportunities as you can to encourage your husband or wife. Now, when you put these all together, of course, I've used the word praise for them. And that's a good word to use, because when we have had these attitudes and actions built into our marriage relationships, even when we go through a crisis, we will come out with a song of praise. So here's the last thing I want to ask you today. Take a look at this graph, and for each of the 6 things that you see on the page today, ask yourself this question: I am or I am not? I am praying, I am responsive, I am appreciating, I am involved, I am submitted, I am encouraging, or I'm not. Or put yourself somewhere on the graph and see where you are. This is Mike Constantine, and this is 4 Minutes to a Better Marriage.